Hi everyone, this is my final video on the Cheltenham 2020 festival. It's not about my bets today, this is about what I took from the festival, not in terms of winners for next season or horses I'm going to follow for next season, but just some views I took from the festival, and I will include a couple of views on horses for next season's festival, but it's not really about that. So the festival has become huge now. That's clearly obvious from the build-up it gets, and people talking about it for months and months in advance. The betting for it is already up for next season, etc. And it's led to a Cheltenham winner being an utter holy grail, and being the top trainer, top owner, etc., being the big aim for a lot of the, like JP, for Elliott, for Mullins, etc., Gigginstown. And it's almost made it a win at all costs festival now. So what do I mean by win at all costs? Well, I mean, like, if you've got a horse that's a supreme class horse, but you don't really know that it's a supreme winner, but it could finish third, fourth, fifth maybe, then if the handicap mark is looking lucrative, then it'll be going for the handicap because you're guaranteed the winner in the handicap, where coming third or fourth in the Supreme doesn't really tick the box because no one remembers second, third or fourth in the Supreme. And it has led to probably 3 Grade 1 placed horses winning handicaps at the festival this season, in San Roy, Chosen Mate and Dame de Company, because I'm sure San Roy was capable of running to the same sort of level as Chantry House in the Supreme, possibly even close, getting even closer to Shiskin and Arla Cabra. Probably not beating them, but probably in that gap between where they were on Chantry House or around the Chantry House mark. Chosen Mate for me would have probably challenged Fakir Didiri and put the kettle on for the Arkle. That's my opinion. And the Dame de Company in the mares probably wouldn't have troubled Honeysuckle and Benny Deju, but I'm fairly sure she would have been in amongst El File and Stormy Ireland. So there's 3 of your handicap winners that were possible Grade 1 placed horses. And then you've got the 2 graded winners out there, probably the misinterpreted race in the UK, where Simply the Bets and Imperial Aura, which produced 2 winners for the UK and 2 handicap winners out with the big yards. But I'm fairly convinced that the handicapper underestimated the race where they both ran against on the slopes, and all 3 of them are making him look a bit silly with their marks at the moment. And it just shows that the big yards are completely targeting all races, because that would have given them another winner if Imperial Aura hadn't been misinterpreted by the handicapper. Then Galvin would have won. But the Holy Grail has become just, it's almost like it's a win at all costs. The Fox Hunter's now being targeted by Willie Mullins. The JP buying up horses that he thinks will win at the festival because he hasn't got one. Like, he couldn't let it lie that Tiger Roll was a good horse, and as soon as Easy's Land was looking like a very good horse, then he purchased that horse because he wanted a winner at Cheltenham, and that would give him 1 more winner and 1 less winner to Gigginstown. And I'm sure he thought Gigginstown would be his biggest rival at the festival for the top owners. And I feel like now big yards with all these horses in it are just targeting specific races, even if it's handicaps. It doesn't matter if they're 4 levels below. You know, it's like, I've got a Champions League player here, but I'll just let him look good in the championship because that makes, you know, I don't understand it, but like, they'd rather win the handicap because that puts their name in lights rather than come third or fourth in the Supreme or a Ballymore or a whatever Marsh chase, because that doesn't put their name in lights if they're third or fourth there. And I don't know if the current economic climate will change all this, or if the money will continue to run the festival, and the big yards will continue to dominate. Because I could see a festival fairly soon with the 5 yards of Elliott, Mallins, de Bromhead, Henderson, Nichols, and add in perhaps Joseph O'Brien and Jesse Harrington, and I would say there you could have the best part of 25 winners out of 28 at a festival in the near future if things continue the way they are. It really is that stark. I mean, Elliott probably could have. He had 40% of the handicap winners. He had 4 winners out of 10. Like I said, there was 2 handicap snips for JP, one from Mallins and one from Henderson. So in 3 yards, they've taken out 60% of the handicaps. Could have been higher because Column of Fire's fallen at the last when probably going to win the Martin Pipe. That would have given them 70%. And like I said, if Imperial Order hadn't been handicapped, probably incorrectly in truth, because the race was misinterpreted by the handicapper, then he would have been above the limit for the Northern Trust, and then Galvin would have bolted in, and then you're talking about 60% winners of handicaps for Elliott, and 80% of the handicaps going to the top 3 yards in Britain and Ireland. And it just shows that the festival now has become the millionaire's playground, but where it was also for the little guy, it's not coming out of reach for the little guy now. And I think only a change in the economic climate may change things, but it may just make it worse, where the big money just buys up all the big and good horses. So you look at that and you think Elliott's handicappers were profitable to level stakes. Even at SP, you could have had better prices on a few of the winners. During the day, Aramux was 12-1. You could have got 6-1 on Chosen Mate instead of 7-2. So there was the potential to make a fairly high profit just on Elliott's handicappers. And like I said, that could have been an even bigger profit if Black Tears was second. Cracking Smart was left at the start and still finished fourth at 33-1 in a handicap. I know that was won by one of the other bigger yards, but this just shows the complete domination of the festival. I mean, there was 7 winners out with the festival. 2 of them came from the same race, like I said, was misinterpreted. And then you've got the Ultima, which wasn't targeted by the big yards, only 1 runner from the big yards in that. And then you've got the Monster, that was Easy's Land, the race where they didn't run a horse. Well, they ran horses, but they didn't expect to win, and that was in the Stairs Hurdle, because Mallins had a big gun for that race, but tried to go lower to try and win with Benny Deju. They targeted the Fox Hunters with the Mallins horse, but a freak result really in that. And like I said, Column of Fire falling at the last cost the big yards a big winner there. So of the 7 other winners, they could easily have been 2 or 3 winners for the big yards as well. And the only one I missed out is like the Brown Plate. And even in that, Death Duty was back from 20s into 8s, and Ben Dundee was badly hampered for Elliott, or he could have pulled probably a place or perhaps better out of Ben Dundee. But it shows that the festival is completely dominated by the big yards now. So, excuse me, I've done the honeysuckle Benny Deju thing to death, but I still get comments on it. I don't get why Stormy Ireland, owned by Gerard Sullivan, is considered to be Benny Deju's pacemaker. I don't get why Robbie Powers being vilified for the horse jumping right and him not closing the gap. Firstly, he didn't know what horse was behind him, and really because he's a Willie Mallin's horse, that means he's supposed to shut the door on Honeysuckle. Maybe he should have looked to see what horse was there. But what happens with a horse like Elfile then? Does Elfile go into the race owned by Kenny Alexander, the same as Honeysuckle? Does she go in the race to help Honeysuckle, or does she go in the race to help Benny Deju? I thought all horses in each race ran on their merits. I'll say something about Benny Deju that won't be very popular, but she's been made out to be something that, in my opinion, she isn't. Her form at Cheltenham reads: first against Midnight Tour, won by half a length. Midnight Tour, what's that done since? Then fallen against a very, very poor field, and then second to Honeysuckle. Now let's talk about Honeysuckle. Honeysuckle is winning top races, jumping nowhere near as good as a top hurdler should be jumping. I mean, she's ballooned the last when she's beaten Benny Deju. She's lost 4 lengths at the last when she beat Darver Star and Petit Mouchoir, and she's pulled the 3 lengths back after the last because of her ability. But it's her ability that's getting her through the races. It's not her hurdling technique. Benny out-jumped Honeysuckle the whole way round, and Honeysuckle still won. Now let's talk about Benny Deju then. Benny Deju's a superstar, supposedly. Yet she's not considered good enough to go in against Paisley Park, getting £7. She's a superstar, yet she can't pull back half a length against Honeysuckle up the running as a supposed stronger stayer. This superstar status is because she won a French champion hurdle that included Melon over 3 Mile 1, that included Mr. Adjudicator. You take out De Boncourt, who is only heralded in France, has not come and done anything over here or shown anything here. For me, Benny Deju's wins over Stormy Ireland and Bacardi's and Penn Hill do not match up to what Annie Power's done yet. She's got a lot to prove for me, because if she was the superstar, I don't understand how she couldn't pull half a length at Honeysuckle over the last, because Honeysuckle's give her a chance. She's jumped the last poorly and given Benny Deju a chance. And now, a superstar horse, for me, would have gone by Honeysuckle. And for me, if there's any superstar in the race, it's Honeysuckle, because she's won despite her jumping and getting into trouble and running outside then inside all over the track. She's won an Irish champion hurdle after, like I say, losing 3-4 lengths at the last and still managing to win against a horse who was third in the champion hurdle this season. So she's clearly a good horse. I think she's a chaser. I don't think her hurdling technique's that great. And I'd have Benny Deju down to win the Mayor's Hurdle next season. But if she's the superstar everyone says, then she should be going to the Stairs Hurdle and she should be able to win it easily. Because that's what superstars do. And she shouldn't be going for the Mayor's next season if she's a superstar. She should be going to the Stairs Hurdle and she should be winning it easily as well to justify that sort of status. And better than Annie Power, then she should be a Stairs Hurdle winner for me next season. But I think they'll go for the Mayor's Hurdle again, and I think she's probably a half decent bet at 5-1. I would say Honeysuckle will be a good bet for the Mayor's Chase. I think they may go into open company. That would be my worry. But at 10-1, I think she's a half decent bet for the Mayor's Chase. Now, the Mayor's Chase leads me on to, if you're going to have a Mayor's Chase, which race goes? The Pertemps for me would be an absolute cert. I mean, this race that sort of like encourages you to come 4th, 5th, 6th in a race just so you can qualify and not affect your handicap mark. I mean, it's just encouraging fiddling. And many trainers don't need encouraged to fiddle a good mark. And yeah, I mean, look at the finish of it this season. Like, I mean, the Storyteller and Stour de Burley had the race to themselves from coming into the straight in a handicap. I mean, 2 horses that were so well handicapped that nothing else had a chance from, like, 500, 600 yards out. There was no other horse in with a chance of winning the race. And then the Boodles, that could go for me. The Northern Trust. All these races are encouraging horses to fiddle good marks rather than running graded races. So for me, they'd all be a candidate to go. I mean, I'm a big advocate of running horses in the top races that they can, and I mean, if you encourage horses to get good marks by having races like the Boodles and the Northern Trust and the Pertemps, then you're just encouraging trainers to do it. So yeah, those would be the sort of races going forward. Horses going forward for the festival next season. Like I say, Benny Deju at 5-1 for the mares would look a bet to me, because I think like it's a cheap winner. I think Honeysuckle at 10-1 for the mare's Chase. I'd worry about that bet a little bit, that she could go for the Arkle. Don't think she'd go for the Marsh so much, because you could get the big clash there. You could get in by Allen against her in the Marsh. That would be some prospect with Honeysuckle getting £7. Wouldn't mind seeing that race. Abacadabra was a horse that was unlucky at Cheltenham. Left in front, ran a hell of a race for me, and was a bit unlucky just beating on the bob. After being left in front way too early for that horse. So yeah, I'd like Time Hill, but these are horses that have been put up by other people already, and they're not saying what you don't already know. I mean, it's like Shiskin. Everyone's going to back Shiskin for the Arkle. But is Shiskin a Marsh horse, really? Is it an Arkle horse? Where will Chantry House go? There's lots of horses for the Marsh, the RSA, even for the National Hunt Chase. All the novice hurdles were very strong this season, but knowing where horses go, I mean, that's half the battle, making sure your horse goes to the right race. So, like I've said, I've enjoyed the season. I've obviously made a profit, because 2 winners from 2 races out with the festival, and then a slight profit at the festival. I mean, you know, that I've done well personally. I hope others have done well on their own bets, or with the help of my bets as well. But hopefully you're all staying safe. I know I'm desperate for racing, so I'm sure every racing fan is, and hopefully we'll get it soon. Hopefully my views haven't offended anyone in this video, and just saying it like I see it, to be honest with you. Everything in the video's my own view, and if you'd like more videos, then you can let me know what you want me to talk about, because if not, this will be the last video of the season. I see the Virtual Grand Nationals on this week. I'd like Barrow Saint or Alpha de Sobo. Hopefully one of them. If there's betting on it, I might have £2 or so on it, but they would have been my picks for the national this year. But anyway, I'd like to thank you all for watching throughout the season, and I'll be back to you when there are some meaningful races on. So thanks for watching today, and stay safe. Bye for now.